This week, the sky gives us leftovers from a famous visitor, not the visitor itself. Halley's Comet is not coming back until 2061, so unless your wellness routine is spectacular, most of us will have to settle for its trail. But that trail is enough. Every May, Earth crosses a stream of dust and grit that's left behind by Halley's Comet, and those tiny fragments burn through our atmosphere. As the Eta Aquariid, NASA lists May 5th and 6th as the best time to watch this year. Now, the moon is going to interfere, most probably. The moon enjoys doing this. It sees a meteor shower trying to have a moment and says, "How lovely, I'll bring floodlights." And tonight is no exception. I took a peek outside, and the moon is pretty impressive this evening. So, this week, it's a little contest. We have moonlight versus meteors. And because the sky has a sense of theater, we also get the moon near the red star Antares, a faraway moon, evening planets, and the summer triangle beginning to climb into better view before midnight. Earth Sky notes that Vega, Deneb, and Altair, the three stars of the summer triangle, can be watched for before midnight in May. Well, good evening, my fellow Nightside travelers. This is Sunny from Muse Media, coming to you from somewhere above the 45th parallel, where the stars are bright and the floodwaters are high. Good grief. This week, at a glance, from May 3rd through May 9th, the moon is past full, and it's beginning to shrink. The word for that is waning. If the moon is growing brighter each night, it is waxing. If it is losing light, it is waning. And this week, it is waning from a bright gibbous moon toward the last quarter moon on Saturday. That bright waning moon matters because the big event this week is a meteor shower, and meteors like dark skies. Moonlight washes out the faint ones. This year, the Eta Aquariids will have to fight through lunar glare. Space.com and AP both note that the bright waning gibbous moon will make the 2026 shower harder to see, especially for Northern Hemisphere observers. So we manage expectations. This is not the year to promise a backyard fireworks show, but meteor showers are strange creatures. They can underperform for an hour and then toss one brilliant streak across the sky just as you are thinking negative thoughts about your alarm clock. That is why we watch anyway. This week's main things to know. May 3rd through the 4th, the moon moves near Antares, the red heart of Scorpius. May 5th through the 6th, the Eta Aquariids, peak before dawn. May 9th, the moon reaches the last quarter, and all week, Venus and Jupiter remain the easiest evening planets while the summer triangle begins taking its place in the late evening sky. Nothing complicated. Moon, meteors, planets, and summer stars. A sky with a little sparkle and a little attitude. Let's keep the planet watch simple this week. After sunset, look west. The brightest, most obvious planet low in the western sky is Venus. Venus is often called the evening star when it appears after sunset, though it is not a star at all. It's a planet, and it is very good at stealing attention. If you see one brilliant point of light hanging in the twilight, shining harder than seems possible, that is most probably Venus. Jupiter is also still part of the evening scene, though it's gradually lowering as May moves along. If you've been watching Jupiter over the past few weeks, this is a good time to notice how it shifts from night to night. That is one of the best beginner lessons in sky watching. The sky is not wallpaper. It moves. And for early risers, Mars and Saturn are morning objects, but they're not exactly rolling out the red carpet. You will need a clear eastern horizon before sunrise. No trees, buildings, smug little hill sitting right where the planet should be. Mars is not dramatic right now. Saturn is improving, but still takes effort. So the beginner version is evening, Venus and Jupiter, morning, Mars and Saturn, if your horizon and your caffeine supply cooperates. And remember, planets usually shine more steadily than the stars. Stars twinkle. Planets tend to hold still and stare right back. That's a useful trick. It's not perfect, but it's useful. Now to the week's headline, the Eta Aquariids. The radiant, the place in the sky where the meteors seem to come from, is in Aquarius. But do not stare only at Aquarius. Meteors can appear anywhere across the sky. Think of the radiant like the source of rain on a windshield. You know the direction it's coming from, but the streaks cross the whole glass. The Eta Aquariids come from Halley's Comet debris. These are tiny particles, often no larger than grains of sand or grit, striking Earth's atmosphere at high speed and burning into light. NASA describes them as shooting stars before dawn from Halley's dusty trail. That is the beautiful part. You're not watching random sparks. You're watching old comet dust meets Earth. Classic sci-fi. The best time is before dawn, especially the morning of May 6th. Space.com lists the peak of the night of May 5th and 6th and says the shower's active from April 19th through May 28th, with the best viewing just before dawn when the radiant is highest. So how are you gonna watch it? Well, you find the darkest place you reasonably can. You face generally east or southeast before dawn. Give your eyes at least 20 to 30 minutes to adjust. This is pretty important because people will get bored and they give up too soon. Do not keep checking your phone because when you check your phone, it's a tiny little rectangle of meteor-killing betrayal. Your eyes will adjust and then have to readjust and adjust and stop. Just stop. Leave the phone inside. Use your naked eyes. No binoculars and no telescope, at least to begin with. Lie back if you can and let the whole sky be your screen. No tech needed. This year, moonlight will hide many faint meteors, but the bright ones may still show up and give you a good ooh and ah. And because these meteors are fast, they can leave glowing trails, little after images that seem to hang there for a moment, like the sky is remembering what just happened. That is worth the effort, even if you only see one, especially if you only see one. So, this week's beginner target is not a single object, it is a skill set. Learning one red star, that star is Antares. Antares is the red heart of Scorpius, the scorpion. Early in the week, the moon passes near it, which makes Antares easier to find because the moon is basically standing nearby with a flashlight saying, hey, look over here. Antares has a warm reddish color, and once you notice that color, you start seeing the sky a little bit differently because not all stars look the same. Some are blue-white or yellowish. Some, like Antares, look reddish or orange. Antares is often compared to Mars because of that red color. Its name even means something like rival of Mars. That is a nice bit of sky drama, if I don't say so. A star named as if it has a grudge against another planet. So on May 3rd or May 4th, look for the moon and then look nearby for the reddish point. If you can pick out Antares once, you'll find it more easily the next time. That's how sky watching builds, one familiar thing at a time. If you have binoculars, this week gives you a lovely target, the Coma star cluster. Its catalog name is Meloet 111. But unless you're trying to impress someone at a telescope club, Coma star cluster will do just fine. This cluster is wide and loose, which means binoculars are actually better than a high-powered telescope. A telescope may zoom in too much and lose the feeling of the whole thing. In binoculars, it looks like a soft scattering of stars. It's not overly flashy, more like someone brushed crumbs of light across a dark table. For telescope users, later in the week, you can try for M64, the Black Eye Galaxy. It gets its name from a dark dust feature near its bright center. Will it look like the photographs? No, probably not. The sky enjoys humbling us. Through a modest telescope, it will be faint gray and quiet, but that is part of the charm. You are looking at a galaxy. If it does not do cartwheels for you, forgive it. It has been busy existing for millions of years. Now we're going to do the night by night. So starting Sunday, May 3rd, Sunday opens with the moon still bright after the full flower moon. Look for the moon near Antares, the reddish heart of Scorpius. If you are new to the sky, don't worry about finding the whole scorpion yet. Start with the moon, and then look nearby for the red star. That is enough for one night. A bright moon, a red star, a constellation waking up in the late spring sky. Moving on to Monday, May 4th. Monday brings the moon near its farthest point from Earth. The word apogee. Apogee means the moon is farther away in its orbit. The opposite is perigee, when the moon is closer. You probably will not step outside and say, yes, the moon is clearly several thousand miles farther away tonight, but knowing it changes how you see it. The moon is not changing shape, it's changing distance. That familiar face is moving in more ways than one. Moving to Tuesday, May 5th, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning is your first serious Eta Aquariid watch. Before dawn is best. Do not overcomplicate it, don't aim a telescope, and don't hunt at one tiny point. Just get comfortable. Look wide and let the sky surprise you. If moonlight is strong, try putting the moon behind a tree, building, hill, or even a parked car, anything that helps to block the glare. And if you see nothing, you still stood outside under Halley's dust. There are worse ways to lose sleep. Wednesday, May 6th, on Wednesday morning is the main event. The Eta Aquariids are at their peak. Again, the moon will interfere, so this is not a perfect year, but bright meteors can still streak through. Just give it time. 10 minutes is not meteor watching. 10 minutes is checking whether the sky has a complaint box, so stay longer if you can. Look east and southeast, but keep your gaze relaxed. A meteor does not care where you were hoping it would be. That's part of its personality and the fun of the hunt. Thursday, May 7th. Thursday is the backup morning. Meteor showers fade gradually, so if clouds ruined Wednesday, try again. Before dawn, by evening, return to the easy things. Look again for Venus in the west, Jupiter lower, but still worth watching, and moonlight fading night by night. This is a good night to simply practice noticing. Where is west from your porch? And where does twilight linger? Which bright point appeared first? This is not just beginner stuff. This is a foundation. By Friday, May 8th, Friday is a better night for binoculars and telescopes because the moon is losing some of its grip on the evening. Try the Comet star cluster with binoculars if your sky is clear and reasonably dark. If you have a telescope, then go out hunting for M64, the black-eye galaxy. And if you have neither, just step outside anyway. The sky does not charge admission for looking up. Saturday, May 9th? Well, Saturday brings the last quarter of the moon. That means the moon appears half lit. It rises late and becomes more of a midnight to morning object. For beginners, the last quarter moon is actually wonderful. The shadow line across the moon, called the Terminator, makes craters and mountains stand out with more contrast. Yes, the line is called the Terminator. Astronomy occasionally names things like it's trying to sell movie tickets. Saturday is also a good time to start noticing the summer triangle. The 3 stars are Vega, Deneb, and Altair. Vega rises first and is usually the easiest one to catch. Deneb follows, and Altair comes later. Together they form one of the great guideposts of the summer sky. Learn it now, and it will keep you company for months. And now for those of you who like a little symbolic sky weather with the stargazing, here's the mood of the week. The sun is still in Taurus, so the background tone is steady, earthy, practical, and stubborn enough to bring its own chair. Mercury is also in Taurus now, which slows the mental weather down. Thoughts want weight. Words are looking for proof, and plans want a reason to exist outside your imagination. Meanwhile, the moon is waning after last week's Scorpio full moon. So symbolically, this is a week of sorting things out. The full moon revealed something, and the waning moon asks what you're going to do with it. By Saturday's last quarter moon, the energy feels like editing, not punishment and regret, just a bunch of editing. And a clear cut, when the time is right, can be a kind of mercy. Whether you read that symbolically or simply watch it astronomically, the moon is doing what the moon always does, changing shape, changing light, and reminding us that not every ending is a loss. So this week gives us a bright moon trying to steal the show and meteors trying to sneak past her anyway. It gives us Halley's Comet, not as a comet you can see, but as dust, memory, and motion. It gives us Antares, red and watchful near the moon, Venus glowing after sunset, Jupiter slowly lowering its voice, Mars and Saturn waiting for early risers, and a soft star cluster for binoculars, a bruised-looking galaxy for telescopes, and the first true hint that summer stars are climbing up into the night. That's how the sky teaches, not all at once. A red star here, a meteor there, a planet after sunset, and a triangle rising before its season. You do not have to know every name. Start with just one thing. Find that one thing, and then come back again tomorrow and find it again. That is how the sky becomes familiar, night by night. Until next time, keep watching the skies, follow the signals, question the noise. And I'll see you on the night side.